Wow, that's a pretty disgusting person. Killing a bird, kicking it around, pulling it apart, and that's supposed to be fun? Yuck. Ick. What a jerk. If you're like most people, you probably think this guy's idea of a good time is morally inexcusable. But why? That's actually a pretty good question. Not because there are no ready answers to it, but because there's so many ready answers to it. One possibility is that the guy's plan is morally wrong or morally reprehensible because it shows no regard for the sanctity of life. Another possibility is that the plan goes wrong because it shows complete indifference to the suffering of another creature. A third possibility is that the guy's plan is wrong because it violates the rights of this little bird. Which of these is the right answer? Maybe all of them are, to some degree. Maybe none of these answers are right. Or maybe just one or two of them are. I don't know where your intuitions go on this, but for some more food for thought on this issue, let's consider a slightly different scenario, but one that's in a lot of ways like the one that we just considered. Okay, so cats can't speak English. Even so, it's not hard to imagine a cat's thought process as going something like that. After all, cats do seem to get a kick out of chasing birds and killing them, batting them around, sometimes even pulling them apart. The funny thing is, none of us are particularly inclined to hold cats morally responsible for these kinds of behaviors. And that's a pretty big difference from how you probably reacted to the case in which the bird attacker was a human being. And that's something worth thinking about. So why don't we hold cats and other animals responsible to the same kinds of moral standards that we hold humans to? Well, the answer to that question is not too far to seek. The fact is, we take it that animals are incapable of regulating their actions according to moral standards in the same way that humans are capable of doing so. As Carl Cohen puts the point in one of our readings for this week, animals lack the capacity for free moral judgment. But what conclusions should we draw from this? You've seen that Cohen takes this fact about animals to mean that they can't be full-fledged members of any kind of moral community. And he argues from here that animals can't have rights. Tom Regan, by contrast, thinks that animals do have rights. And the reason they do is essentially the same as the reason that humans do. Animals have certain characteristics in common with humans. They are, for example, the experiencing subjects of their own lives. They are, for example, beings that care about and look out for their own interests. There's lots to be said for both of these views, and I can't say it all here. But maybe we can end with some questions that you can think about for yourself. First, what are the characteristics that human beings have and that account for their possession of rights? Second, do animals have the same characteristics or similar characteristics? And if so, do they have similar rights to human beings? Last, what exactly is the difference between the human version of the bird attacker and the feline version of the bird attacker? Does the notion of rights tell part of the story here? And if not, what other kind of story might we tell about that difference?